All right, we've got Stu Mundell live over a pursuit in Calabasas. Stu, what's going on here?
Well, Brooke, this is moving very, very quickly. You can see it right here. We were in Calabasas. Now we're in Woodland Hills. This actually started in the valley, and by the time we got to it, we were actually waiting in Calabasas because it was out in Malibu. Got off the freeway, got back on the freeway. Now we're making our way back into the Woodland Hills area. Original want was a U-turn, an illegal U-turn. That's what got the attention of the officers. And then the pursuit was on. Reckless driving has now been added to it, but you can see these speeds, 91 miles an hour. Now, this is an area where we usually see some traffic in the morning. Right now, this early, still kind of wide open. California Highway Patrol, they're the ones behind it. They don't have a helicopter over it yet, but they might be getting somebody here soon. LAPD might be helping them out momentarily. But I can tell you, they've got some tricks up their sleeve, and I'm not giving away any secrets when I tell you that they are trying to set up some spike strips, possibly on the freeway, even at these high speeds, which I'm curious to see how they're going to deploy, especially with this vehicle in the middle lanes. But they are trying. They are trying to do some other things besides just following and alerting the public that this vehicle is moving at a very high rate of speeds right now. You can see it dropping down to 70-something. But again, this is happening right now on the 101 freeway, now in the Woodland Hills area. But at these speeds on the 101, we're going to be in Encino, Tarzana in just a few moments.
Stu, our police said anything? I guess they're following him because of erratic driving. You can see obviously here this issue, but any other potential crimes, or are they looking at this driver for anything else?
You know, as far as we know right now, no, nothing at all. Evading is definitely going to be on that list of things that they're going to charge that driver for. You can see a number of the California Highway Patrol behind them, and you know, they actually are being very litigious this morning. I actually heard them ask for one of their supervisors to get involved. There is a supervisor in that pursuit as well. This vehicle now in the middle lanes, and again, it's been moving. At some points, it's been going 95 miles an hour, but right now you can see it kind of slowing down just a little bit, 70-something, as we're making our way now. It's still in the Woodland Hills area. It's kind of funny to me that we're still in Woodland Hills, but I can tell you at these speeds on the 101, it is going to be in the valley here shortly. As far as traffic goes, because we're talking about morning traffic out here, is because maybe there's going to be something that's going to slow this vehicle down, or maybe kind of push it off the freeway because he can't travel at high speeds. But right now, freeways, the traffic is light, speeds are high, and of course, California Highway Patrol, you got a number of them there behind it, lights and sirens, warning the public, you know, this is not what you see on your morning commute, definitely not on the 101, but right now, this is what is going on. And again, Brooke, this all started apparently with an illegal U-turn, and probably not on the freeway, but that was what got officers' attention. And then after that, reckless driving, and now you see it, evading, and high speeds on the freeway. They just want to get this person into custody, off the roads, and making sure everybody is safe.
You know, Stu, it's always a question, you know, why don't they just stop? Anytime we see any sort of pursuit like this, we know how dangerous they can be, but it's an even bigger question when this initiated with something that seems so small like that.
It could be a number of things that's going through these people's minds, the drivers of these vehicles. A lot of times, it is something other than whatever they're pulling them over for. Maybe that driver has a warrant. Maybe there's something else going on there. But then again, it might just be this idea that maybe I can get away. Maybe I can pull this off. Maybe it's just that extra couple of minutes of freedom before they go into custody. Whatever it is, usually it's a very dangerous situation because that driver probably not trained as in high-speed driving, and then of course you add in this effect, you know, the fact that they're being chased, and so their attention might be divided. You know, it's like I'm looking in the rearview mirror, I'm trying to get away. California Highway Patrol, all law enforcement officers, they are trained in the high speeds. They're also trained in safety and dealing with things like this. But right now, this is what I was talking about. We're starting to see a little bit more traffic out here. Speeds are going to start slowing down. And, you know, with the crowded freeways, this is where I start to get a little bit worried. I just don't want to see a civilian get bumped into, maybe by the suspect, or maybe somebody trying to get out of the way. It just gets, when it gets tight like that, more things can happen. Now you see them starting to move back over to the middle lanes. Maybe we're going to get off the freeway. I'm not 100% on that. Nobody really knows, just that driver. But right now I'm starting to see some brake lights, slower speeds, more traffic, more cars. And the more you see on the roadway, the more problems that are going to might be happening. And again, we just don't want to see anybody get hurt, even that suspect.
Yeah, that's actually one of the more terrifying things to think about, what this driver could do once they get boxed in by this traffic. Obviously, it's 5:45 on the dot. Many people on the roads. This is a 101. Many people getting to work, getting, you know, to school, things like that. And I will tell you, Stu, this is one of the slowest pursuits I have seen in years here, at least since I've been here anchoring. But that does not mean that this is not dangerous. These are often incredibly dangerous to innocent people.
You know, we were coming up on the triple digits there for a moment. It's funny. It might be just a little offsetting because of the vehicles that are on the road down there and the morning traffic. He's actually using his blinker. I'm kind of impressed right there. But you are right. He's staying right about freeway speeds. Every now and then he'll bump up. We almost saw triple digits right there for a moment or two. But you know what? Anything over the speed limit, anytime we start weaving in and out of traffic, that's when I start worrying about other people and, of course, that driver. Law enforcement, they are down there. Their job is to keep everybody safe. That includes the driver of that vehicle that's fleeing from them. So it is a difficult job. And again, California Highway Patrol, they are staying with it. So maybe there is something a little bit more to it. Maybe it isn't just evading and that illegal U-turn. Maybe that the vehicle has some other warrants attached to it. Looks like we're kind of leaning over to the 405, which is an interesting take because we're going to go through the Sepulveda Pass. But might be getting off the freeway as well, because the traffic, everybody knows, if you get over to the right, it starts getting a little bit more crowded. You can see it right there. He's starting to kind of get boxed in, but you see the sign going over the hill into the West LA area.
Yeah, just that fast. We saw how quickly things slowed down, if that makes sense. But yeah, what do you typically see traffic-wise on this specific area right here? This is wild.
You know, right there might have been the spike strips. That might have been spike strips. I have my scanner turned down just a little bit, but I know that that's what that officer was doing there on that transition road. And again, I was kind of wondering how they were going to deploy those spike strips. So that might have been where they tossed it out. Don't know if it was successful or not. But the traffic on the 405, you know this is always going to be slow and go. But he's kind of hanging off to the right. So possibly we're going to be getting off there, getting off by Ventura Boulevard, maybe Sepulveda Boulevard. Now he's moving back over into the 405 lanes. But I'm going to keep an eye on it. I might turn up my scanner a little bit. Nope, we're getting off the freeway. Might be getting a little tight around here because you got the neighborhoods and then you got that underpass. But definitely getting off the freeway. We're going to be at our turn. It looks like coming up over here as well on Sepulveda, and it looked like he's joining Sepulveda Boulevard, and we're going to continue up the hill. And a red light. Ooh, this might get tight.
Yeah.
Nope, going through.
You wonder, his car seemed to be moving just odd in a moment there, if his car was affected at all by those spike strips, but I guess it doesn't seem so.
Maybe they did. Maybe the officer wasn't set up on time. Ooh, wrong side of the road. What are you doing here, buddy? And making her way up the Sepulveda Pass into these turns in the hills and the trees up here. This is a very dangerous area, even in the daytime, especially with all these blind curves up here, making these turns. You can see them. Brake lights are on up the hill, so maybe he's being a little bit more cautious. But there's a lot of turns and a lot lot of swooping around back and forth. And then if there's anybody else coming down the other way with this guy almost coming into oncoming traffic, you just don't want to see anything tragic happen out here this morning.
Not only that, the fact that, anytime there's a car on the road avoiding police, trying to get away from police, it's immediately a dangerous situation. But at this time, there are so many people just doing their normal routine. They have no idea what they need to be on the lookout for. They're already on the road.
Yeah, already on the road, and then we know school is back in session. Might be a little bit too early to be bringing kids to school, but climbing up the Sepulveda Pass right now, Skyfox is dealing with weather out here as well, so we're going to hold this shot the best we can. I'm not sure we're going to be able to stay with them because the marine layer is back, but right now we're still trying to get this shot. Dylan at the tiller this morning going to do what he can to keep this picture live for us as we're making our way into the Sepulveda Pass, but we definitely are dealing with low clouds right now as we're watching this pursuit wind its way up the Sepulveda Pass. These speeds on this road, not what you want to see. And again, that vehicle crossing over that line a couple of times in California, do what they can to stay behind it, warn the public, and keep that driver safe as well as anybody else on the road.
Stu, yes, you can see the driver going on the wrong side of the road. Obviously, the different loops and curves on the road here, swerving around other cars, unsuspected drivers, just again going on with their day. And obviously things are slower now as we're off on this road. But you said earlier, you saw triple-digit speeds, right?
Yeah, there were triple-digit speeds there for a little bit, and now I'm getting the word from Dylan that we just can't get through. So this is kind of where we're going to stop here for a moment. Okay. I did bring up the map. It might be a little bit noisy. I'm using that to keep an eye on where Sepulveda Boulevard is between the trees and in the haze, so we can keep an eye on it the best we can. But right now, this is it. This is as far as we are going to be able to go. We might be able to get around maybe Cahuenga and then make our way back, but you can see the haze out here. That's the marine layer, and we are just unable to make our way through there. That's another news helicopter in the distance, but they're not going to be getting through there either.
Yeah, obviously, Stu, most important, we want you to stay safe, so we appreciate it. We'll check back in with you in a bit, just trying to get another look at this.